In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. And never is it for a believer to kill a believer except by mistake. And whoever kills a believer by mistake, then the freeing of a believing slave and a compensation payment presented to the deceased's family is required, unless they give up their right as charity. But if the deceased was from a people at war with you and he was a believer, then only the freeing of a believing slave. And if he was from a people with whom you have a treaty, then a compensation payment presented to his family and the freeing of a believing slave. And whoever does not find one or cannot afford to buy one, then instead a fast for 2 months consecutively, seeking acceptance of repentance from Allah. And Allah is ever knowing and wise. But whoever kills a believer intentionally, his recompense is hell, wherein he will abide eternally. And Allah has become angry with him and has cursed him and has prepared for him a great punishment. O you who have believed, when you go forth to fight in the cause of Allah, investigate, and do not say to one who gives you a greeting of peace you are not a believer, aspiring for the goods of worldly life, for with Allah are many acquisitions. You yourselves were like that before, then Allah conferred His favor upon you. So investigate. Indeed, Allah is ever, with what you do, acquainted. Not equal are those believers remaining at home, other than the disabled, and the mujahideen, who strive and fight in the cause of Allah with their wealth and their lives. Allah has preferred the mujahideen through their wealth and their lives over those who remain behind, by degrees. And to both Allah has promised the best reward. But Allah has preferred the mujahideen over those who remain behind with a great reward. Degrees of high position from Him and forgiveness and mercy. And Allah is ever forgiving and merciful. Indeed, those whom the angels take in death while wrong themselves, the angels will say, "In what condition were you?" They will say, "We were oppressed in the land." The angels will say, "Was not the earth of Allah spacious enough for you to emigrate therein?" For those, their refuge is hell, and evil it is as a destination. Except for the oppressed among men, women and children, who cannot devise a plan nor are they directed to a way. For those it is expected that Allah will pardon them, and Allah is ever pardoning and forgiving. And whoever emigrates for the cause of Allah will find on the earth many alternative locations and abundance. And whoever leaves his home as an emigrant to Allah and His Messenger and then death overtakes him, his reward has already become incumbent upon Allah. And Allah is ever forgiving and merciful.